Welcome to the Women Leaders Association podcast, where we believe we go further, faster, and have more fun when we go together. Be sure to tune in each week to hear an empowering message from the world's top women executives, trailblazers, entrepreneurs, and all-around fierce female leaders. I'm your host, Julianne Kirkland, and I will be taking you on a deep dive of each message to equip you with the principles, strategies, and tools you need to start crushing your goals, increasing your impact, creating work-life harmony, and did I mention have more fun? Because when you love what you do it better. The Women Leaders Association is the world's largest women executives association with over 30,000 women in executive and leadership positions who are committed to the development and advancement of women in the corporate arena. If you would like to get involved in a Women Leaders Association chapter, would enjoy daily podcasts, or you desire to become a part of the Women's Mastermind group near you, simply go to womenleaderspodcast.com. Now let's tune in for this incredible message. Hey, welcome back to the Women Leaders Podcast. I am so excited Rachel's with us today. Welcome, Rachel.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited you're here. So let's dive right in, because I know many of our listeners are going to be so impacted by the message that you have today about overwhelm and marketing and branding and all of those things, that all the many hats that many of our women leaders wear. So how do you address it, like right off the bat?
First, let's acknowledge overwhelm is okay. It's part of our every single day life. There isn't a moment where we aren't overwhelmed. We don't want to be underwhelmed. We're constantly overwhelmed. I don't even know if there's a word called whelmed,
right.
But that's where we all want to be, right? Just whelmed enough. And so acknowledging that, and we can't do everything at once. And what we see in so many cases is, oh, there's a new social platform out. Oh, there's a new this out. There's a new that out. There's a new tactic. Hormozy just released a book. We're going to go do everything he did. We can't.
Right.
Because priorities exist, goals exist. And if we just all of a sudden shift focus, we don't get any traction. And overwhelm is great because it also fuels that fire that us as women have. It fuels that drive to, we want to go solve the problem, right? We are innately built to not only see a problem, then start solving it and fixing it for everyone else. But if you take that and think about how do we solve that for our own businesses, it's the hardest thing in the world. Yeah. We are great at solving the rest of the world's problems, but how do you solve it for yourself? Right. And it's the same with marketing, right? We're not going to keep throwing all of these different tactics at the wall and seeing what sticks and not measuring it and trying to get some additional traction from it without a plan and a strategy behind them. Yeah. And at the same time, marketing your own business sucks. Right? Like, think about this for a second. I am great at helping my clients market their businesses. I can jump in, I can understand it because it's that third party independent, I can filter it out. But now if you ask me on marketing my own business, or any of my clients on marketing their own business, it's something they know they need to do. It's something that's up here and in their head. But how do they enunciate it? And that's where it gets confusing. And the overwhelm then adds in, right? Because you aren't sure what to do. You're trying all these different things. And what's working? You have no idea.
Yeah.
So it's time to simplify. And it's time to become really authentic. Because we jump into all these tactics that may not feel congruent with who we are. For example, I am in my mid-40s. I am not getting on TikTok. I am not going to go grow a TikTok channel to try and work with an audience that they're not there.
Right.
And it feels really inauthentic. And that's where, like, if you scroll through some of those, even reels on Facebook and Instagram, and you're like, these people are awkward. They don't want to be here. That isn't who you want to be. It's not the message that you want to go out with.
Right. Yeah.
So that's where we just want to go simple.
Yeah. I love that. And it's so needed, this conversation, because, you know, we are constantly inundated with the shiny object, right? Oh, this is what's new now. Try this, get this AI download, get this. I mean, if you look on any social media channel right now, you're seeing those little AI generated dolls of who you are, right? Like they're everywhere now. And I'm like, okay, again, it's these little trends that catch, but that's not marketing. That's not truly speaking to somebody. You're hopping on board somebody else's train.
And
It's
helping make them money.
right.
Not you.
Right. Right. We're like, oh, we need money, but I'm going to go spend it over here
Because a box action
money.
figure of me makes so much more sense than doing the work to get me a client.
Right. Right. And so how do you help your clients to really get clear on who they're talking to, what their message is, and the channels or the avenues that they do need to take that's best for them?
So we start in the beginning and we want to talk about their ideal client profile. We want to break it down. I want to be able to basically wear the coat of that ideal client so I can then put on the lens and say, yeah, this is going to work and resonate with me, or I have no idea what you're saying, and really get clear on who we're talking to. And then we can find out, where do those people play? Do they play in Facebook? Do they play in LinkedIn? Do they not get on social at all? So then we take a totally different tactic. How do we get into their emails? How do we implement cold calling? What's the right way to reach them? And that would feel good to be reached out to. It's really different when you're reaching out to a consumer versus reaching out to another business.
Yeah.
When you're doing a consumer, you want big and flashy and sexy and eye-catching and scroll stopping. But then you have to have all the millions of tactics behind that for retargeting, et cetera. But if you're not reaching them and you're a B2B company, stop wasting your time there. Look at the other side. Where are these people playing? Are they on LinkedIn connecting and generating their network? Great. Let's look there. How can we get involved in the conversation?
Yeah.
Then from there, not only do we try to figure out what that initial conversation should look like, but now what's the next congruent step? So we've started a conversation. What happens next? Do they want a free trial of something? Is it a this? Is it a quick conversation to see, where do you stand? Can I give you a quick audit? Can I give you a quick something to help you get a win?
Yeah.
And from there, if we take that to the next level, right now, it feels like a more authentic conversation, and it feels like you've given something rather than, I just want to sell you.
Yes. Yes. And people know. And here's the thing, like you hear often, right? I'm not a salesperson. I don't want to be salesy. Well, the truth is you are a salesperson.
Every single one of us is.
Everything in everything. I think about my children. I'm selling to them all the time.
I know. And if you think about it, right, we're also selling our coworkers. We're selling our bosses. We're selling our everybody in our network. I'm selling my husband on, yes, we want to go out to dinner at this place on Friday night.
Yes, absolutely. And so much of being able to do that, and why people go, well, that's not really selling. Well, it actually is, but why it doesn't feel like selling is because you're being true to you. You're listening to yourself, you're doing what you actually want and desire to do, and you're taking steps forward to make it happen. It's the same thing when you're trying to sell your business. It's the exact same thing. The problem is when we get so distracted by what everybody else is doing to be successful. And we think that's the only way in which we can go about our business. And I love the fact that you really help your clients zone in on, wait. Let's look at what's going to work for you and your business and your voice, because you can have two of the same type businesses, right? That are marketing the same thing, but an audience is going to hear them completely differently depending on who they are, how they present themselves, what they're looking at. It's different. And that's okay. That's okay. That is the beauty of it, especially in this AI world where nobody knows what to believe on the internet anymore. Nobody knows if they're talking to a real person or not.
I mean, you could be deep faked. We don't know.
We don't know. Yes. And that's why I love doing podcasts and things like this, where we are on video, we're also audio, but you get a chance to hear the reactions in our voices and see our faces light up and see what actually moves us forward in the conversation. And that's why I don't do scripted podcasts. I want to hear your authentic story, your authentic voice. And that is what speaks to people. And I think that is why our podcast has been so successful and has reached so many different women, because of just that.
It's all about authenticity and
Yes, and
credibility.
people know the difference.
Yes.
Yeah, That's awesome. So talk a little bit about one, how you got in this, and also about the nonprofit that you work with and how you got started there as well.
Sure. So I have been doing Rockstar and Moon, which is my marketing company, for 15 years now. Believe it or not, we started back in 2010, this month, in fact.
Wow.
And this was after there was the recession. And I was working for my parents' business for about a decade. And it was a printing business. But all of a sudden, with the 2008 housing bubble, and then same as what's happening right now, government contracts stopped in the printing world. So my clients went from paying in 30 days to paying in 60, 90, I don't know. And now I'm out of business.
Right.
One of our biggest clients was Ritz Camera. They went bankrupt on us. And what do you do? So we end up having to close. There was no way we could keep going. And no one would hire me because, as a woman in the printing industry, they didn't believe that I knew what I was doing. They didn't believe that a girl who worked for her parents could actually get up there and run a press, could go get on the cutter, could do estimating, could do billing, could run the entire business, and that I had helped scale it from a small company to a $5 million a year company. They didn't believe it. And so getting a job was one of the hardest things I'd experienced. And so I created this as my side hustle because I said, I'm going to create a skill set that nobody can take away from me, that I can continue to grow. And I'm not going to put up with you don't know how to do this. No, here, look at the body of work. I've proven myself time and time again. And that's where this started. I never thought that I was going to take my marketing agency full time. I just thought it would continue to grow my skill set. Eventually, I landed my dream job. I'm a girl who, as you can see, loves music. There is nothing more powerful in life than a live show. It is the energy of the crowd, of people coming together as one. And that's a life force.
Okay, pause right there for a second,
Yeah.
because for those who are just listening, she has guitars on her wall behind her. That's what she said, as you can see. So for those who are just listening, there are awesome guitars behind her. Okay, carry on.
And guitars are a great business expense when your business is called Rockstar and Moon.
That's right.
So I landed a job at Ticketmaster running a division of marketing. And this is the ultimate dream job for me because my first year, we saw 275 different artists. And then I got great benefits and they paid well. So I was in heaven. Our second year, I saw 250 artists. Went down a little bit. We were hoping to go up, but there's only so many days in a year. And,
Right.
So when the pandemic hit, I was working at Ticketmaster, but there's no events. So they furloughed 80% of us on a Zoom call. And that afternoon, I said, wait a minute, I have been putting my clients on hold for basically 10 years while I've been doing everything else. I called each of them and said, all right, you've been sticking with me long enough. I'm going full time. Let's do all these things I've put on hold. So I did that. And the next day, and we grew and we grew and we grew. My husband joined us, and we've been able to create a model that works for myself and my family.
Yeah.
So that's been incredible. But that has also opened up the freedom to be able to do other things that I love. So also about 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with cancer right after I got married. And believe it or not, it's appendix cancer. And so I'm 1 in a million. And what I learned during this time is that if you've never interacted with somebody who's had cancer, it's never affected your life before, you don't know what to do. So this is the most isolating thing in the world because I'm fighting this is my life or death moment every single minute of the day. And now my support system, my friends who would text me about the Kardashians or some stupid housewife or any of those things have now disappeared because they don't know what to say. So with the freedom of the pandemic and having my own business, my husband and I created a nonprofit called Beyond Basic Needs. We created an actionable step that anybody can take once they have a friend, family member, coworker who's been diagnosed with cancer. We provide free chemo care kits to anyone across the US so that they can feel supported.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we are, believe it or not, we are hitting 1,500 in the next day.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think by next month, we should be well over 2,000.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's such a testament to just in everything that you've done, right? Like you tried to find safety and security in somebody else's business model and the way somebody else was doing something and going after that steady paycheck.
And it's like time and time again, no, no, no. Do what you're passionate about, and that's what's going to grow.
That's it. And I think the hardest part is you stay for that paycheck, you stay for the health insurance, you stay for the benefits and the safety and security, but we're miserable. We're
Right.
overlooked.
And it's not safe and secure after all.
No, there is nothing because you can be cut tomorrow with
Yes.
no reason. This is an at will, same as you can quit.
Yes. Yeah.
So if this is something you're not passionate about, like this is your time to take action. There's nothing stopping you from starting up a side hustle. There's nothing stopping you from starting a nonprofit. Follow that dream and be able to make it all happen. And if
Yeah.
you don't know, raise your hand and ask for help.
Yes.
I'm a girl who doesn't ask for help. I refuse to. I will take on any challenge. I will do all the things. I will never tell you that I'm drowning.
Mm.
But what I've learned is in January, we took our nonprofit from 20 to 25 requests a month. And then we were featured at the top of Cancer Care News. And that took us to 250 requests a month. So how do you fulfill that from a very small manual process? Now I had to automate it. Then I had to get in enough suppliers. Then I needed people to make the port pillows. Then I needed to up everything with all my sponsors. And how do you do that? You ask for help. And the
Yep.
minute I asked for help, it became so much easier.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so many important nuggets of wisdom and just how to keep going, right? And yes, those things can feel overwhelming, right? But like you said at the beginning, that's okay. It's okay to be overwhelmed. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay to fail. All of those things are okay. And the fact that we have been conditioned to believe that it's not, that's where the true problem lies. And so it's taking that information. Okay, where am I at now? What am I dealing with? All right, what is step one? What is the next best thing for me to do? And I love that your company helps people to, again, listen to their voice, and you guide and you instruct and you give steps and strategies. And that is what more and more people need. Not, let me just get on TikTok, let me just get on Instagram, let me just do this and just, regurgitate what everybody else has done. And that is truly where you will be successful, is when you are being your authentic self.
Absolutely. And one of the things that anyone who's listening now is probably feeling is that you're underestimated in some way, shape, or form. And you're overwhelmed, but they're not thinking that much of you that you can do it, but you absolutely can.
Yeah,
The only one that's stopping you is you.
that's right. Right. And so what if people think you can't do it? Like,
I prefer that.
okay.
Challenge me.
Right. Okay, well, watch. And that is the best thing. And that's where, coming alongside somebody like you um allows people to borrow your belief in them until they really have it for themselves. Because when you've been told time and time again, you're not good enough, you don't have enough, you're not, qualified enough, all of those lies, right? That just really allow people to shortchange a conversation, to just go with the flow of things. That is really where you are learning the most about yourself. And to be able to, again, come along somebody like you that says, wait, let's look at what you have going for you, and let's lean into that. Let's make sure that's what's being promoted. Because again, there's other companies out there doing exactly what you're doing. Like, ladies, we're not lying to you here. You're not the only one that has an idea. You're just not. But the difference of those who are successful with it and those who aren't are the people that do it. Period. You don't even have to do it great. You
No.
just have to do it.
I mean, think about it. The flow bee from forever and ever and ever ago. Do you remember that was that
Yes.
thing that would cut your hair that was kind of a
Yeah.
hair sucker and cutter?
Right.
That succeeded as a product.
Yep.
How is that a thing? And yeah, it didn't
Yeah.
work. You can be successful whether you have a great product or not a great product, just in the way you create it, you put it together, and you go to market.
And the best example I can think of for exactly what you just said is any kind of workout video or routine. Everybody does sit-ups, everybody does push-ups. You cannot reinvent that wheel. That's just there. It's there. Everybody does it.
You got Billy Blanks, you got Jane
Yes,
Fonda, you have
all
the
of the
Tone It Up
people,
team.
but they
All of it.
all do those core things. And yes, they might spin a different way and talk to you, but you watch that video, you buy that particular video, that program, because you resonate with the person on the screen.
That's it. And not only that, it's the same thing when you think about then how do you get change? How do you see wins? You start small. You're not going to go lose 50 pounds in a month. It's just not a thing. But you know what's going to happen is you're going to get a small win of you losing the first pound or two. And oh, now it feels like not only do I believe you on the screen, now I'm seeing it in the numbers, and let's keep going.
Yes. Yes. And, to your point you said earlier, that's why it's so important, again, to work with somebody that helps you to measure, right? If you're not tracking, you're unaware. And what you're unaware of, you can't celebrate, you can't grow, you can't fix, you can't change, you can't do anything to. And so that's why it's so important to have somebody come alongside of you in this journey. And it's lonely. So it totally makes sense.
It's one of the hardest journeys, right? Because there are 17 million books on business. There are, but there is not a single book written for your business. There
Right.
isn't, because you're the one that's in charge
in your
of it.
business.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
And it's really hard to figure out not only where you want to go and how you want to grow, but how that business will evolve over time.
Yeah.
Because there's so many new opportunities and challenges that you're going to face. So how do we continue to pivot to face those?
Yeah. And with so many layoffs that are happening right now, right? And this fear that's being we'll just leave it at that. Fear. Yes. What would be your last piece of advice to the woman that's listening right now? And she's like, I know I've had this dream in my heart, this vision for my business, the things that I wanted to do that I've, like you, have been putting it on hold, saying, no, I'm not going to do it because of X, Y, Z. What would be your advice for her step one?
Start before you're ready, because it's never going to be perfect. To date, I've redone my website 475 million times. There is no shot that you will go out and everything will be perfect. But if you start small and you start testing, then you know that you have the data to back you up that you're in the right space. Yes. Now, if you start small and you just do this as a side hustle and you try to get 1 to 2 clients and you can't, let's rework the business plan. Right. What are you going out with? Is it the pricing? Is it this? How do we make that work? And there's nothing stopping you. There is nothing in your way. You don't need to invest in $1 million business right now. You start small.
Yes.
Is this idea going to work? Is there a market fit? Can this also fit in the lifestyle that I want to have? Because quite frankly, the other thing that comes about as women that we all see is we end up trading time for money.
Yes. Gross.
And it's that, how do we get that moment where we're not doing that anymore, so we can also scale and we can enjoy our family and we can enjoy the things that we like in life, and we can go get a massage on a Saturday and not have to worry.
Or a Tuesday. Or a Tuesday, and that's exactly what you're saying is again, really understand what it is that you want in life. If you say, oh, I want $1 million business, do you understand what's going to come with that? You know what I mean? Like, you really have to break down and stop just having these blanket statements because you see somebody, again, in the same type of industry on a social media platform showing you all the good parts.
Yep. And like, I know I'm never going to be Layla Hermosi. I don't want the problems that come with that level. Right? I see it. I understand it. I'm not interested. I like to be at this level, and that's where I want to play.
Yes. And that is exactly right. And that's, again, you're being true to you. And that's what this whole episode really comes down to, is knowing who you are and being true to you. And if you don't quite understand that voice yet, again, get with somebody like Rachel who can help you to hear your own voice, who's not just saying, oh, this is what you should do, this is what you should do, who actually listens to you, understands your industry, your audience, your family, your dynamic, all of that, and is able to say, okay, now let's move forward.
And somebody who's blunt and will just tell you the truth.
Yes.
You don't need a yes man.
That's awesome. I love it. Rachel, thank you so much. This has been such a great conversation. So how can people connect with you?
You can connect with me. You can go to rachelminion.com and all of my businesses are there. You can connect with me directly on the site.
Awesome. Wonderful, Rachel. Thanks so much. All right, ladies, be sure to connect with Rachel. She's an incredible human and just fun to be around. Thank you again, Rachel, for this conversation. And if you are looking for more conversations just like this, head to womenleaderspodcast.com. Bye for now.